You always get so much hype around the watch market. There's certain brands that get so much credit, even though their releases are pretty average. Seiko, no matter how much I love them, are definitely one of them. And that really had me thinking when I received the latest Seagull model. The bark textured dial that they've sent me is all kinds of beautiful, and it comes in at less than half the price of the comparing Seiko. So why do we not rate this brand? Is there something wrong with them? Or do we just prefer those historic horological names? That's what we're going to look at in this video. My name's Jason, I'm your watch guy today. Let's get into it. When Seiko released their cocktail timeline, we were absolutely obsessed, and rightly so. The dials are amazing to look at. They are fantastic dress occasion pieces, and they add so much elegance to any sort of wear. That being said, they definitely have their shortfalls. The 4R35 movement is rather basic.
You're basic.
And everyone's favourite gripe, the Hardlex crystal. While they're pretty acceptable specifications, these pieces aren't cheap, coming in around £350. So why are we not paying more attention to Seagull's latest alternative to the cocktail time? It can't really be that much down to history. This is China's first watch brand, operating since 1955, and they have some incredible pieces in their archives. On top of that, even with that history, they remain one of the market's cheapest brands. This piece is absolutely stunning, and I'll be honest, most of that, maybe 95% of it, is down to that display. The bark textured dial really highlights those high polished applied numerals, and in turn they give a very sophisticated aesthetic throughout this watch, and they play exceptionally well with that leaf handset. I love the way that the chapter ring flows with the dial, matching with that sky blue tone and making it look like it's so much closer to the crystal than it actually is. That crystal is actually one of the upgrades that you'll see on this compared to the Seiko. It is sapphire. It isn't domed, but the material alone is definitely a step up on the cocktail time. I really enjoy the sub-second hand at the 6 o'clock. For me, it really highlights the dress nature of the piece, and I think the splash of red definitely helps to highlight the hand. The numerals give a lovely break from the triangular applied hour markers. You know I love numerals in a watch, but these ones give an elevated aspect with them standing off the dial. They have signed the 12 o'clock with the Seagull print, and a nice touch that I really do like in these pieces is the since 1955 just below that 6 o'clock, showing they want to ram home that history. The case is a dress piece through and through. The high polished fixed bezel highlights that display perfectly. Every good piece of art needs an excellent frame, right? That polish also flows into the short, shapely lugs. I'm incredibly pleased that they've opted for brushed sides on this profile. It not only breaks up the polished points, but it would also help me in longevity. I'm a very clumsy person. It's well executed brushing too, fine, straight, and exactly what you'd expect, or better slightly than what you'd expect at this price range. Seagull have opted for a pull push crown to accompany this case, and it is signed with the S logo. It has a good level of grip, and it's easy to get hold of. I won't lie, personally I would have liked something a little bit more ornate like you do see on the cocktail times. That is a style that personally rarely vibes with me. Another thing that I mentioned about the Seiko is the 4R35 movement. Now you would definitely say that is a step up on the ST17, and I'd agree. But one thing I will say is I quite like the decoration on that movement. It also matches up spec to spec with the Seiko movement. 21,600 beats per hour, 40-hour power reserve. It also saves a lot of money because it is a Chinese movement. The case back is a display case back, and it's obviously screwed into the case. That being said, this watch is only provided with 50 meters of water resistance. It's definitely what we'd usually expect from the dress realm, but definitely stay away from any water-based activities with this. This one isn't as small as your average dress piece. For some, that will definitely be a bonus. I know some of you out there like bigger wearing watches, but for me this type of size is what I'd usually reserve for a sport or dive model. It's 40 millimeters in diameter, and let's be honest, that's a lot bigger than you'd expect for your average dress piece. That being said, it is still much thinner than your average piece at 10 millimeters thick. That's a solid size when you're considering this as a under the cuff shirt accompaniment type of piece. As well as that, the lug to lug is preferably slightly shorter, being 47mm. Altogether, it is a very wearable piece. It's just slightly larger in diameter than I'd usually go for. The leather band, in my opinion, makes complete sense, with it being a more sophisticated element. I will say it's not the highest of quality. It's one that you're going to have to wear in to get the right level of comfort. The buckle is ornate, and I love that to match up with this piece. It definitely adds into the dress style. It is also polished, and it's signed, so I can't really ask for more. When we look at the downsides, they are quite minimal in terms of function. Yes, the water resistance is low, but again, it's something that we'd probably expect in the dress world. It is a Chinese movement, which I know not everyone will love, but if it's good enough for Nico Leonard and Maine at over $1,000, I guess we can let this one slide.
Gotcha, bitch!
Using it in a £150 piece, it sounds much more reasonable. The leather band definitely could have been better, but it does the job. And obviously I'd have liked a more compact size. But again, with it competing with the cocktail time, I can definitely see where they've gone with this. Personally, I think it is a brilliant budget option to that Seiko, especially if you find yourself on a tighter budget. The dial is beautiful, as is the decoration to it. It is also available in other colours if you want to check them out. That is linked in the description below. That is the store that have sent me this piece for review. In my opinion, this is a fantastic option. Thanks for watching today, guys. I've absolutely loved working with Seagull once again. As I mentioned, and as this video was all about, they are certainly one of the more underrated brands on the market, in my opinion. And let's be honest, that's definitely down to them being Chinese. But before you start harping on about that, ask yourself, where's your technology come from? What are you watching this video on? It's definitely a phone, right? Or a laptop, or a TV. You know where they're made? Remember, if you want more watch content, subscribe down below, and I will see you in the next one.